We officially started as a winery in 1985, but we were making homemade wine well before that. My father bought 12 acres in what's now the Russian River Valley, but back then it was kind of the middle of nowhere. My dad tried his hand at homemade wine, and I was the oldest of 5 kids, so I was the assistant winemaker at the tender age of 13 or 14. And it really was a hobby that then became a business. Now we have, almost 300 acres planted, 4 beautiful locations. We've got 2 tasting rooms. We've got, these wonderful properties that gives us a competitive advantage and really agency over our own grapes and our own vineyards.
We are a small but vertically integrated business where we are growers, we're manufacturers, we're marketers. So within this relatively small business framework, we do all those things. And so you have to have people that are multifaceted. It's critical. I always say that wine will make itself. And I think that the simplicity of that can create some problems in terms of making really good wine. And you have to hustle because you're always against the clock.
What we won't compromise on is quality of the wine. That's just never been something that we were willing to do. And there are all sorts of shortcuts you can do in the cellar and ways to do it on the cheap, but you can tell. The adage that, do what you love and it doesn't feel like work, that's very true. So I was personally very passionate about Sauvignon Blanc and took a big bet on that and put all of our efforts behind that and, invested in the equipment, the marketplace tools to do that. Almost immediately we started to see the engine go faster and faster and faster. And it really put us on the map as a winery.
The Sauvignon Blanc is really gratifying just to see it everywhere. It's so hard to sell wine. And I've been at this, and Chris has been at this for so long. To have that kind of success, it's just very rewarding.
Whenever you embark on focus and scale in a business, you've got to get everybody's buy-in. First Bank was just a great partner along the way because they took a long view of our business, which is unusual. Most banks, they want to see quarterly returns and they want to see a pretty immediate return on the investment, and that just doesn't happen in the wine business. You've got to have more patience.
First Bank has been around for over 100 years. Hanna Winery, they've been clients of the bank for I think almost over 25 years. So the long-term vision of both our bank and their company is very evident in what you guys see here today and what you see with First Bank.
I think that the same themes of family business and working hard are themes that will carry me through forever, and I hope that I've imparted those to my kids too. When you have been raised by a Syrian immigrant who came here, from nothing and became a world famous cardiac surgeon, it's hard not to wake up every morning and think, I better do something valuable. So part of, my drive is to not just make the business profitable for our family and sustainable for our family and future generations, but, it's also that, we've got a bunch of employees that depend on us to, raise their families and to have stable, interesting careers. And I take that really seriously. So, yes, we're a family winery for the Hanna family, but, I've got a mother and daughter team that, work here at Alexander Valley. I have a father and son team that work in the cellar. Jeff's children have all cycled through and worked in the cellar and on the bottling line at one time or the other. So, the great thing about a family business is that you think about it not just in terms of your family, but with others. And that gets you up every day.
The trust that Chris has with First Bank and myself, and the trust that we have in her as a business owner and an operator, the way we treat each other, I can totally tell that there's a dynamic that, a lot of other banks that are not family owned just don't have.
Between wildfires, one of which wrapped around the vineyard, torched the eaves, between that and then the double whammy of COVID, it's been a rough couple of years. Just that care, to have somebody pick up the phone after a wildfire, are you okay? Is the family okay? How's your dad? That kind of thing doesn't happen when you're working with a big corporate bank. So that personal touch and the long view, all wrapped up into kind of family multi-generational values is really the most important thing to me.